Hello and welcome to a slightly soggy Mercedes-Benz UCI World Cup downhill. You know the drill by now, we're going to go into the pits and see what we can find. Todd, first things first, tell us about your Moat. This is pretty impressive. You can actually stop fans, the media, getting in with a Moat.
I was just getting out my tension.
Yeah,
It happened to work out. I was just, bikes!
And you have had a stressful one. Tell us what's happened.
No stress.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's,
Okay.
I feel for the mechanic more than anything, who was the person to walk to the car the next morning after, of course, we're talking about the infamous bike theft in Edinburgh, and I know what it feels like. You get up in the morning, you walk out, you're always thinking about that at every event, and it's like your worst nightmare, I guess. You know, you walk out and sure enough, it's happened. Since then, we just went into recovery mode and, found another frame, saddleback. It was quick to respond, the UK intense distributor, and no, it really hasn't been a big deal. But
there is a bike sitting in his pit space at the minute, and is that just identical? Is that
the look?
Is that identical then to the one that went missing? Is that like,
Yeah.
There wasn't anything super special prototypes?
No, we just run OE, parts and stuff. So it's we had a backup bike, but was the other size, the infamous extra large versus large. So of course they took the large, the one he wanted to ride.
Somebody's rolling up the blinds. Is it Laurel? It is Laurel. Hi, Laurel. So we found shelter in the Specialized pit, and this is really, really interesting. This team are really, really focused on telemetry. They take a lot of information from each track at the start of the weekend and then build it into their race bike in terms of settings for the actual race day. So as you can see, just looking at the telemetry bike just quickly here, it's got, I think it's called accelerometer, I might be wrong, front and back. It's got brake sensors, and that all feeds back into this box. The riders do a couple of runs on that, get a feel for it, and they can work out where the suspension's being used, how efficiently it's being used, and then update the settings on this bike, their race bike, to make it perform better. So it takes the guesswork out of it, which is pretty impressive. And if you need any more proof of how high-tech downhill's getting, check this out. Just come over here. A helmet dryer. The guys have actually pointed out that this is actually as important when it's hot as well, because it helps dry the helmet out when it's full of sweat. I think this weekend, sadly though, it is more about rain than perspiration. Now, in the early 2000s, downhill went through a big dip, and everybody was just working out the back of sprinters and like rental vans. Nowadays, look at this. Ben, how are we getting on? What changes are you making to this to deal with that outside?
It's not massive change. It's just like a big fender in the front and quite good like water repellent to fight against it, and just
You put water repellent on it, right? Now, what do you put on it?
yeah, it's like we have a new support like from Kingo. It's like making really nice polish. It's just a kind of a water.
So dirt can't stick to it?
Yeah.
Just seen Laurie's trousers. Look at those pants, man. They are exceptional. Let's see the ass on them. Wow, look at that thing. You been down the gym? The boys changing anything setup-wise to deal with the weather, or did they just run it as it is?
They've not gone up for first practice yet, so there'll be a lot of changes going through the day for the wet. But at the moment, it's just setting helmets up, covering vents up, putting extra long visors on, just to stop the rain like getting in your eyes. And vision is a massive one. If you can keep your goggles quite clean, you can go harder for longer.
I mean, I like it wet, but this is getting ridiculous. A bike race in Scotland, so it's only fair that we find a Scotsman to talk to. Any changes for this weather at all? What would you be looking at bike setup-wise?
It's actually this track here, I find you end up going a little bit faster in the dry, so quite often you end up actually going a little bit harder. Other than the woods this year, they've actually added in some woods and some roots, so that'll be technical, but it's a tiny percentage of the track. So no, on the whole it'll be pretty similar, maybe a little bit harder as we start to pick up speed, but no dramatic changes.
And just like that, Reese's session has just rolled in. Team bikes this weekend sporting some rather nice chrome paint as well. RP Pro Guard fenders as well. One of the most visible sort of changes that will be made to the bikes this weekend. That's just to stop the amount of spray coming into the riders and give them a bit more visibility. There we go then, it is all going on in the pits as ever. Riders battling to find that perfect setup to help combat the wet stuff that's falling out of the sky. Don't forget, if you like videos like this, you can find plenty more of them on Red Bull Bike.